I'm Rob Todd from Allagash Brewing Company, and I'm here for the beer.
Just a few days ago, we went up to Burlington, Vermont, to American Flatbread, where they were hosting an Allagash event.
Each year, Rob Todd, the owner and brewmaster of Allagash, brings a bunch of his stuff down to American Flatbread for kind of a casual Allagash dinner and beer tasting. He brought a lot of cellared beers, a couple of casks. There was a firkin of Allagash 4. It was excellent. But we cornered Rob. We got a few minutes of his time, and we asked him a little bit about the brewery, and here's what he had to say.
So I'm Rob Todd from Allagash Brewing Company in Portland, Maine, and we do exclusively Belgian-style beers and experimental type beers, and we've been doing that for almost 15 years now. But we started out just doing Belgian-style beers, just with the white beer, and actually for the first 5 years we probably only did about 5 different kinds of beers, and once we kind of got the feel for those, we started to really get interested in branching out a little bit and learning about different strains of Belgian yeast, wild yeast, bacterias, and so we started to do some more experimental beers, and it's been a lot of fun. We've learned a lot, and we've got a pretty open culture at the brewery where really anyone at the brewery, regardless of whether they're working on the bottling line or they're the brewmaster or working in the retail store or answering the phone, if anyone has an idea for a beer, they can brew it on our little pilot system. It's a 10-gallon system, and if it's scalable up to a production batch, sometimes we'll do it on a full-scale batch. So it's a lot of fun. We're learning a lot, and it's a lot of nice variety.
So we also asked what was in store. What are the plans for 2010? And here's what's coming up.
It's funny, this year we don't have a lot of new stuff coming out just because we're incredibly busy right now. We're barely able to keep up. We do have a couple cool things coming out. One of them is the Mattina Rosa, and that beer is brewed with quite a bit of fresh raspberries in the mash, and then it was fermented out in stainless, and it's been aging in French oak since then for almost a year, and we added a bunch of fresh raspberries, also locally grown raspberries, to a number of the oak barrels. So that should be pretty interesting. It doesn't really fit into any particular style, but huge raspberry character. We're not exactly sure when that's coming out. Pretty tart, funky. It's going to be an interesting beer. So we're looking forward to that. And then every year we do a beer called the Fluxus, and that beer is different every single year. Our first year, I think we did, I'm going to get this wrong, I'm sure, but I think our first year was a rye beer. Second year was I'm going to get this right actually. First year was a rye beer. Second year was a double wheat beer, like a 10% wheat beer. This last year we did a Saison with sweet potatoes and pepper. I have no idea what we're going to do this next year, but it'll be something a lot different than that. So we're trying to mix it up, do something different every year.
Yum! I am totally getting into the sour beers, so I'm really excited to hear this beer's coming out.
I mean, the raspberry thing, I'm going to stand by. I don't like produce in my beer, but Fluxus, I'm always up for a new version of Fluxus. And finally, well, actually not finally, we have 2 more questions we asked. Amy was curious about the cork and cage. Allagash is one of the first U.S. brewers to do the cork and cage, the big bottle, and so Rob told us a little bit about how that came to be.
It's just a beautiful presentation.
Yeah, it's funny, with the cork and cage, we just stumbled into that. We wanted to do a large format bottle a number of years ago, something bigger than a 22, and our options were really either a champagne bottle, which was green, or these traditional Belgian bottles, which are brown. And the green, those were really our only choices at the time in a 750 milliliter bottle. The green bottle lets in wavelength of light that'll skunk beer. The brown bottle doesn't, and but also the green champagne bottle and the traditional Belgian bottle that's corked can withstand the pressure of the high carbonation of the beers that we wanted to do. So we really needed to choose one of those. We ended up with the brown bottle. At the time, the only finish that was available was a cork finish with a wire hood. So it's just, you know, we kind of stumbled on that, and now we do a huge amount of our production in that package.
And finally, we asked Rob about the bottle conditioning. I mean, all of their beers are bottle conditioned, but we were curious about the 12-ounce stuff and the kegs, and here's what he had to say about that.
Yes, all the beers, all the bottled beers are bottle conditioned, and also all of our draft except for the white is keg conditioned. The reason we don't keg condition the white is that we experimented quite a bit with keg conditioning the white. We were excited about doing that, but it's interestingly enough, the keg conditioned white doesn't taste like the bottle conditioned white. The forced carbonated white, where we carbonate in the tank, tastes more like the bottle conditioned white. I don't know why, but when we re-ferment in the keg for the white, it loses a crispness. It kind of gets real fruity and cloying and doesn't have that crisp character. So we've always ended up going with that. You know, we carbonate the white in the tank, and it's a much better beer. And it's funny, it tastes more like the bottle conditioned white. So, but yeah, all the white, even 12 ounces, all bottle conditioned.
It was great meeting Rob and all the folks up at American Flatbread.
They were wonderful hosts, and I also got to meet American Flatbread's brewer, Destiny, so look for that video coming soon.